Folks. My name is Tom Lowry. I work for you as the Executive Director of MOSHAPE. We are very delighted to feature tonight our two candidates for President-elect of MOSHAPE for the 2023-2024 year, 22-23, excuse me, get ahead of things. But this is a very responsible position that means a lot of responsibility, deep planning, great understanding of processes and people and leading. And what you will hear from these two candidates tonight will help you make a decision. Our voting for the president-elect opens at noon on October 30. That's a Sunday. And it closes at 12 noon on the Saturday of the convention, November 12th. So we encourage you to continue to engage, ask questions. Do not just take statements as a way to make a decision, but dig deep into the backgrounds of these two people that are the candidates for president-elect. We have much to do. There's a lot of work involved in being in this position. A lot of responsibility and a lot of accountability. That's what we're really looking at as we move forward to reset and to work towards progressive stability in our organization. So please feel free to put a question or comment in the chat while we're going through this. I'm not going to take any more of your time. Thank you for participating and being a part of this process. Now I'm going to turn it over to your president, Anna Forcilio.
Oh, thank you, Tom, so much. It was wonderful of you. And welcome everyone tonight. We're so happy that you're here. My name is Anna Forcilio. I am the current MOSHAPE president. We're super excited to see all of you in T-minus 25 days at the Share Inner Story 2022 convention, and to say just briefly what that theme is and why that theme is, why we came to that. This is a celebration of all of you. It's not just a celebration of one particular, portion of health and physical education. It's every single teacher. It's telling our story and amplifying all of those stories and celebrating the collective impact that we've had as we are advocating for quality health and physical education. So utilizing the voices of every teacher, student, parent, faculty, administrator, superintendent, the community. It's all of even their vendors and our sponsors. It's all of their collective impact of utilizing their voices and advocating and just celebrating that we have, how much we have come and how far we've come in health and physical education. So I cannot wait to see all of you. It's going to be amazing. There's going to be so many new and exciting things. And the excitement is definitely skyrocketing through the roof. And if you want to have even a brief, more of a taste to see it, tomorrow night we are having our very first Zag Pro Media podcast with Guy Danoff, who is the president-elect, and myself. I will be helping co-host. And that will be tomorrow evening at 7:30 Central District Time. And we will be spotlighting our Fit and Fun Playscapes and Pam Gunther as our first Zag Talk Media podcast for our sponsors. So I won't take any more time other than that. We're so pumped. I'm going to introduce you to Chris Stehle. He is on our board as the current chair for marketing and communications, as well as the host for this evening. Chris, you got it.
Well, thank you, Tom and Anna, so much. And everybody, welcome to one of my favorite times of the year as we host our president-elect candidates. And I'm going to bring them on here in just a moment. Like Tom said, if you have questions for our candidates after some of their responses or any of that stuff, please just make sure to type them in the chat, and we would love to address those questions at the end. And so we're going to go ahead and get started to be conscious of everybody's time. So let's go ahead and get our candidates kind of pinned here so everybody can see them up at the top. First and foremost, I'm going to introduce Julie Lukenhoff. Julie, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Hello to everyone. Happy birthday, Patrick. Right, it's your birthday, yes.
Hey, we'll have to give him a shout out here in a little bit with our past president, Patrick's birthday. And also joining us is our other candidate, Sean Nevills. Sean, how are you doing this evening?
Good evening, Coach Stehle and the MOSHAPE family. We are back again here in the evening, Tom. Thank you for taking your spending your dinner with us. And yes, happy birthday to Patrick Fine and happy belated birthday to our current president, Anna Forsalito.
A lot of October birthdays, 25 days away from convention. I'm really excited to see both of you in person and everybody that's joining this call or watching the replay of it. So let's go ahead and get straight to the questions. And question number one, Sean, you're going to answer this one first. Please share with the audience when you became involved with MOSHAPE and kind of highlight some of your contributions to the society.
So coming on to MOSHAPE started when it was Mo Aford, okay? When I was a future professional. And here's how the world works, right? When I was doing some house cleaning, I found the convention that I actually presented at as a future professional in 2008, right here. And guess who happened to be the president at the time? Well, she's actually the candidate I'm running against, that Julie. No, hey, everything comes full circle. But you know what? It just speaks to our organization and the strength of our organization and everything that we do. That we have people that have been on and want to continue to be on. So I'm honored and privileged to be a part of this and be a candidate. But to highlight some of my contributions, obviously 2008 kind of getting my start at it as a future professional, but really things took off for me in MOSHAPE in 2018 and 2019 when I worked on curriculum at the district level in Springfield Public Schools, but in 2019 at the state level through Missouri Healthy Schools grant. Then lo and behold, I become director of health and PE just that same year, December 2019, working across the state, working on curriculum, supporting districts across the entire state, which was absolutely amazing. But then going from there, 2020 happens and we all know what happened then and we had to pivot. So during that time, it was great to still be a part of DESE, still be the director of health and PE and create all these virtual resources and work together with everybody with MOSHAPE to put together all this stuff to support teachers going into that August 2020 school year. A couple things I'll highlight is the summer learning series where we brought in our Health Moves Minds team to do a session. We had people from OPEN, which is Online Physical Education Network, coming on. Then also we were still a big part of Shape America, where we were part of the Shape America reentry considerations conversation, and also bringing a lot of our state health and physical education coordinators together to put together our COVID-19 resources library known as the hashtag MoReady resources. So a lot of stuff did. And then also we had Chalk Your Walk, then brought on this amazing group again through Missouri Healthy Schools. We call them Spaker Spot. Shout out to those two, still rocking it. So from there, obviously I moved on because of you all, because of the great work we did during that time. I was recognized for the position of COVID-19 director for Shape America, but I stayed on through the strategic plan task force and putting that together, which highlighted advocacy, increasing membership, but more importantly, equity, diversity, and inclusion, which essentially became a task force in and of itself, and now a standing committee that I'm the chair of.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean, for sharing that. And we'll come back to you here in a few moments with another question. Julie, please share with the audience when you became involved in MOSHAPE, or as we know, Mo Aford, and highlight some of your contributions to the society.
I first became a member in 1988. Now, some of you probably were not even thought of by that at that year, but just wanting to let you know that 1988. So I'm one of the old ones, I guess, with Tom, as far as membership wise. I was involved with DESE in the writing of the original grade level expectations, the GLEs for health and physical education. In 2000, I became a member of the Mo Aford board, and I served as the East Central District rep. The board used to be divided in with representatives on one side, and our job was to deal with Teachers of the Year nominations. And in 2006, I took over the leadership of leading the district reps with the nominations, with the Teacher of the Year nominations. In 2008, I was elected Mo Aford President Elect, and served my time with the Mo Aford board. I have served on the Quality Health and PE cadre as a member in a couple of different little stints throughout my time there. I've presented at the convention, not only at regular sessions, but also I've done pre-conference sessions too. So I've been around the block a little bit.
Well, thank you so much, Julie, for sharing. And yeah, I was born in 1991, so hope that's,
86. I was around by then, Julie.
so Sean was in preschool and I was not even, my parents weren't even married yet. So that's awesome. That's awesome. So just a reminder for our audience, please, if you have questions, type them in the chat and we will address them towards the end. But let's move on to question number 2. And Julie, this one's for you first. I know you just shared, so catch your breath here. And would you share a personal and professional accomplishment that you are proud of and why?
Okay, just a second. Personal wise, my kids are already making fun of me because I'm emotional. Okay, I married my high school sweetheart. It'll be 36 years in December. I have 3 great kids who are successful in their careers. That would be my first accomplishment. My second one is I taught 31 years in the same school district. So I taught many students and like whole families. So like when we go places, there's a lot of times I go, oh yeah, I taught that family. Oh yeah, I taught that family, you know, just the everything. I never got to grandkids, but I taught students and then I taught kids of students. So, and just staying in contact with them, watching them grow up, have families, become successful in life. That is the coolest thing in the world. And for them to still come up and say, hey, Miss Lueckenhoff, remember when? That is just awesome. That to me is a lot of respect for me. I am the only child in my family, sorry, that went to college. I have 4. There are 4 of us kids in my family. I worked my freshman year with my undergrad to earn a volleyball and softball scholarship to cover my undergrad expenses. And so I was very happy to be able to come out of college with no student loans. And then a few years later, I remember going to Columbia to a comprehensive school health institute with the late Sandy Mazzacco. And I came home and I said, Tim, I am going to go get my master's. And he was like, oh, okay, Julie, we'll be able to do this, because at the time he was with the sheriff's department. So you know what those hours were. I graduated with my master's while I was coaching 2 sports. I had a 5-year-old and a 9-month-old. So to me, professionally, those 3 things those are very close to my heart, very close. Professionally, I retired from teaching in 2016, but I have stayed very involved with my school district, Blair Oaks, MOSHAPE, Central District Central District and Shape America. And I think that there are a lot of teachers, when they retire, you don't ever see them anymore. And I think that we have the time to be able to do what associations need. And so I feel staying involved is a very good accomplishment. Another thing that I'm very, very proud of is that in 2008 at my convention, we had over 1,000 attendees. And boy, I would love to have that again. I would love to have that again. And at the time, when you came on to the board, President Elect was in charge of planning the convention. So not only were you brand new, but man, you got to do it all there. So I'm very, very proud of that. As I finished going through the executive board with MOSHAPE, or MOAFERD at that time, the late Jim Herhoff used to always say, you serve your state, you serve your district, and then you serve your national association. And so from the Missouri board, I then ran and won the health division chair on the central district board, and I served on there for 2 years. And then from there, I was asked to be the coordinator of the Leadership Summit. And so the Leadership Summit is a training that Central District does for the 9 states for the leadership or upcoming leadership for the 9 states that they can come. We do presentations, and my job was to work very closely with the president as far as registration and money and planning and organization and handouts, food. I've served a lot of food in those 5 years that I did that. And then after 5 years, they asked me to serve as president of Central District. And I won that election and served Central District through there. So those are some of my accomplishments. Thank you.
Well, that is awesome, Julie. And I love what you said about, when teachers retire, they have more time, and a lot of times we don't see them. And I love how involved you've been. And also 31 years at the Blair Oaks Falcons. We were talking before the show. I mean, that's a good place to be at for 31 years with how dominant they are in football and basketball, Sean and I were talking about. So,
well, I will tell you that I was there when we were barely accredited. And now I've been there in good times and in bad. So yes, it's a great day to be a Falcon.
there you go. There you go. So, Sean, what about you, man? Would you share a professional accomplishment that you are proud of and why?
Yeah, starting with the professional highlights, I really think back to when I was a coach and the work I was doing there. I'm gonna be like Julie, I'm gonna kind of go down through a little bit of the list of some of the things here and there and just hone in on some stuff. But when I was teaching and coaching in Springfield Public Schools, I was recognized through one of their newer initiatives, which was called Power of One. And essentially it was, the power of one teacher, one educator to make a difference. And I did that as a coach in a program that didn't, never really had the success on the field. But what we created was something bigger. It just started with being in the weight room and trying to feed kids or get athletes just to go. So it started just like that, me bringing donuts to the weight room just so we can have guys interested in off season. And then all of a sudden you have people in local businesses like the local Steak and Shake in town that wanted to donate breakfast burritos, because what did I do? I tweeted out, hey, this is what we're doing. Let's get involved. But people saw that and recognized that we were working on something bigger. And, through time and through that program, we turned it into something called the Breakfast Club. And we had not just, like I said, myself bringing stuff, but we had parents involved. We had our local PTSA involved. We had local businesses involved that donated food and drinks to that program. And eventually that weight room received funding for upgrades because it was an older weight room. The school itself is over 100 years old, but the weight room received funding for upgrades and things like that. So just, that small thing, think about it. A tweet of donuts just because I need guys to get to the weight room turned into something bigger. I was also highlighted by Missouri State University, which is the program I graduated from, for the work that I've done in the district. But aside from that, now take it to some of the stuff and, kind of what's relevant to MOSHAPE and Shape America in general is, and if you're asking me what one of my biggest professional accomplishments are, it's the fact that I have been able to bring MOSHAPE with me to the national level. Obviously, when I was able to be the COVID-19 project director through Shape America, we relaunched the Shape America podcast. But even with that, I was able to bring in our people. Our president, she was a part of it. Our president elect, he was on the podcast. I just recorded one, that will be on soon, that has another Missouri educator. But the fact that I have been able to bring my work with Shape America to the national level means has been one of those biggest accomplishments. So we have the podcast. I was the keynote speaker for Kentucky Shapes conference back in 2021, July 2021. And if anybody can remember, we missed the Shape America conference in 2020. We weren't in person during that time. So essentially in July, that was one of the bigger events for our members to come together that we hadn't had in a while. So to be able to keynote speak that and have a lot of our MOSHAPE people there in the front row as I'm on stage talking was very impactful. And now obviously still representing Shape America on the podcast. And also I'm a lifetime member. Hey, guess what? They don't just hand those out to Shape America members. So I'm a part of this thing for life. So I'm here for the long haul with that. And now also part of the finance committee. But if you're asking for a personal, so now taking that and taking it to a personal kind of, a personal accomplishment, and I'm kind of in the same lines with Julie, is that health and physical education and physical activity is a part of my home. Not only do I go out there and preach it in the roles that I play outside of my house, but I'm fortunate to be a girl dad and a boy dad. My son is great in the sports that he does, and my daughter, she's a state champion. She won a state championship as a sophomore at her school in discus. So and shout out to all of those who followed that spring of all my tweets and everything. It was very impactful. But to witness that and to see that what you're passionate about has kind of trickled down to your children is pretty amazing.
Awesome. Well, Sean, thank you so much for sharing. And we talked about Julie and Blair Oaks' dominance. Well, Sean, you have something that I'm jealous of, and that's a big, giant diamond state championship ring that you can claim. And I'm working.
I always claim that 2014 Battle High School, baby. Your boy's running backs coach and special teams coordinator. All right, listen, you brought it up, not me.
Hey, yeah, that's something this football coach is jealous of. I mean, I love your kids, Sean and Julie. I love your kids as well. I love my kids, but I'm chasing that ring, man. So let's move on to the next question.
Okay, I don't have any of those rings, but I paid for a truckload of them. Okay.
There you go.
Oh yes, I have. Let's see, I've paid for 5 state rings and then 5 rings from college. Okay, so for my boys. So I'm done with them.
Hey, you two can take your jewelry and
I don't have
move
any of
on.
it.
Yeah, I should have worn it too.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep this train on the tracks here. So next question, Sean, you're going to go first. What is your philosophy as a leader?
Servant leadership, right? And I know a lot of us have been hearing more and more about that. But I believe thoroughly in servant leadership. And I always use the quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and that's everybody can be great because anybody can serve. And we're sitting here talking about it right now about Chris, talking about greatness, talking about wanting to be the best. But in order to be the best, you have to give first. And I think that just speaks to everything I've done. All these roles I've named to this part, through being an educator, through MOSHAPE, through Shape America. It's all about serving. And why do we serve? It's because we love what we do. If you love what you do, you want to continue to give back to it as often as you can and at the highest level, at the greatest level. That's why I'm running for MOSHAPE President Elect, because I want to continue to serve our members at the highest level. So servant leadership is what I believe in. It's what I practice.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. And Julie, what about you? What is your philosophy as a leader?
Well, I am a doer. I'm a worker. I'll pull up my sleeves. I'll put my big girl panties on. I'll do the job. I'll do whatever has to be, whatever has to be done, I will get done. And when I say I'm going to do something, I usually do it. And so I feel that I lead by example. I have a passion for the profession. I will inspire others to work together to accomplish that task, whatever it is. And to me, I feel that communication is the key to any situation. Okay. I try to surround myself with people who have that same drive and I am not a micromanager. Okay. If I ask you to do something, I know that that task is going to be completed because you are competent in doing that. So, thank you.
Awesome, Julie, and thank you for that response. So we are getting some questions. I'm getting some direct messages for some questions. We're really close to getting to those. We have 2 more questions for them, then we'll get to those. So Julie, you're first. Why do you feel qualified to be MOSHAPE's president?
Well, I feel my involvement and my accomplishments that I have already told you about with MOSHAPE and Central District Shape America. I think they have prepared me to work not only with Tom, but with the rest of the executive board to move SHAPE to an elite group. I want people to look at Missouri and go, we want to be them. That's what we need to be.
All right,
Thank you.
That's a great response, Julie. Sean, what about you? Why do you feel you are qualified to be MOSHAPE's president?
So what Julie said is the astronomical leaps and bounds that MOSHAPE has taken in these past, 4 or 5 years I've been a part of. I've been in that space and I've been in the room to do the work that Julie's talking about, to be a part of that grind, to make sure that MOSHAPE is one of the leading state affiliates, the Shape America state affiliates. And we've done this work together. It's not about one person. It has never been about one person. And to continue to lead that charge to make sure MOSHAPE is on top is what it's about. It's time to rise up as a society and do better for our educators now. And that's really what it's about. It's not just we've done so much great stuff, especially when you're talking about content, our social media advocacy, where we've been. But now let's take all of that, and especially all of the connections that I've been a part of in these past couple of years, and I really want to bring that to the members. I want our members to now start to level up and start to rise up, because we are a membership organization. All right, let me say that again. We are a membership organization. Tom, Chris, Julie, me, we all exist for you all, our state educators in Missouri. And that's what I want to bring to the table. I want to bring, all of that, all of these things that have been done, this great work we've been done. We want to bring that down to their level and help them become better educators.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. Again, I appreciate all the questions that I'm getting. I think we're at 3 or 4 questions right now. We're going to get to those. But first, the question a lot of people want to know. All right. If you win president-elect, you will be then the president for the 2024 convention. So, Sean, what is your vision for the 2024 convention if you were to be named our president-elect that will excite our members?
Yo, and if you've been following kind of what I've been doing on social media, the hashtag I've been using is Rise Up. Okay, again, I've been a part of the Strategic Plan Task Force, and some of the biggest charges in that document, in that living document, is increased membership, but also address advocacy and equity, diversity, and inclusion. We want all of our Missouri health and physical educators to be a part of that convention, and be a part of every convention. More importantly, obviously for 2024, when I'm there, I want to bring everybody to the table. It's always a family reunion when it comes to the MOSHAPE convention, but the more people we can have involved, the more ideas we can share, the greater we can network, the greater our society will be, our Missouri society. We're already a great society, but bringing more people, bringing more excitement to the table. And again, through all the roles I've been a part of with DESE, with MOSHAPE, with Shape America, now with Special Olympics, it's great to just continue to build those connections and really create an atmosphere where everybody's learning, everybody's bouncing off each other, and that is taken out into the communities we serve. It's never a one-off with our MOSHAPE conventions. It's about the learning that we all take in, but also the learning that we share in the spaces that we occupy.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. And Julie, what about you? What is your vision if you were to be named president-elect for the 2024 convention that will excite our members?
I want to challenge every member to every day to be better and do better, whether it is personally or whether it is professionally. Okay, I know the last 3 to 5 years have not been easy. We've lost a lot of great teachers, not only in health and physical education, but in the whole arena of teaching. And I want to know what you are going to do to change your circumstances. It's you. What are you going to do? And I want to challenge you. I also want everyone to know that regardless of where you live or what you teach, I don't care if you're a future professional, you are important and you deserve a voice in our association. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for that. So that is the conclusion of our questions, but we are going to start addressing some questions here before we go into closing remarks. So let's go ahead. I'm scrolling here. This is where it gets really exciting because Julie, Sean, it's go time. So I'm not going to, these were all direct messages. So for the sake of privacy and all that, I will not share who asked the question, but I will ask you guys still popcorn. So Julie, you will go first on this one. Please describe one single personal characteristic that might aid to your presidency.
Organization. I'm very organized and I'm a planner. And if I say I'm going to do something, as I said, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Awesome. Thank you. And Sean, what about you? Please describe one single personal characteristic that might aid to your presidency.
Available. I think, again, going back to how I see my presidency happen is really, Julie mentioned is teachers have gone through a lot. Who would have thought even 5 years ago, we'd be talking about self-care and well-being. And why do we have to talk about that? That's because our teachers are struggling. Teachers, our health and physical educators are struggling. So to be a president that's available, I think is impactful. To be any leader, we want our leaders not to just, talk to us or talk around us, but talk for us. So to be available to hear you all, to be that voice for you all is what it's about. So available.
Awesome. Thank you. So next question, we're going to start with Sean. As we are still coming out of COVID times, what are some ideas you have to attract more members to show up to MOSHAPE and be part of MOSHAPE?
It's boots to the ground. It's going out there and making the connections. It's going out there and shaking hands and saying what's up to people. I think one of the best things that happened as an equity, diversity, and inclusion task force is that we were able to expand to areas where we probably lacked representation as a society. We brought in a lot of great people from the St. Louis side last year. This year, we just made a pretty strong connection with the Kansas City Public Schools. So to bring educators from all these different serving populations and also our rural populations. I think that was one of the most impactful things I saw when I was with Missouri Healthy Schools and DESE is to go down to the boot heel and see how education is done there and to make connections there and bring those people up as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Julie, what about you? As we're coming out of these COVID times, what are some ideas you have to attract more members to MOSHAPE?
I think that we need to make the convention I don't want to say they're all dynamic, okay? Everybody gets something out of it. But we've had the members, so we need to get those members back. Several of our members have retired. I understand that, but we have a lot of members. We have a lot of members across the state who do not feel they have a voice with our association. And I think that is very important that we get out there and everyone has a voice and everyone is important. I don't care where you live in the state. And I know that the funding is available for schools for them to attend. We just need to get them pulled back in. Sometimes when people get away from doing something, they kind of get a little lax and just go, oh, okay, yeah, and we've got to pull our members back in. We've got to come up with something to make them want to be a member.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. So next question, we'll start with Julie here. How do you plan on supporting and educating not only the future professional president-elect, but all MOSHAPE future professionals?
I think that they are the lifeline to our association. We need them. I am just always amazed, because when I went to college, we had nothing like future professionals. I did not know. I mean, I had already taught a couple of years even before I heard about MOAFERD and a convention. And so for you all to be going to school, studying to become a health and physical education teacher, you already have a portfolio that is awesome because you've had so many experiences. But we want to make sure that you feel it's important to belong as a future professional, and then to continue after you graduate and get that first job. And we want to be there to support you so that you are that member that has been there for as many years as I've been, and still keep coming. Once again, future professionals they're our lifeline. We need them. They are very important, and I sometimes think they get overlooked, and we need to involve them as much as we can.
Thank you, Julie. And how about you, Sean? How do you plan on supporting and educating not only the future professional president-elect, but all MOSHAPE future professionals?
It starts with remembering that at one point we were all future professionals, right? And what did it feel like to be in that space? Again, going back to 2008 when I was presenting and I was only a junior in college, I needed people. And that's the big thing about it. To support our future professionals, to mentor them, because we want our future professionals to be our career professionals and our retired professionals. So to really latch onto them and give them the opportunities and connect them to the people that will help them in their career. Again, that is why I am where I am today, because I had great professors and instructors that didn't just teach me content, but they mentored me. They put me in front of other people that are on this call now, so to continue to do that, to continue to mentor our future professionals in the classroom, outside of the classroom, and give them the opportunities to succeed and also fail, and then pick them back up. That's how growth happens. You're not going to get it right as a year one teacher. You're going to get it right in year 5. You're going to do better in year 10. And again, continue that path on to a retired professional.
Awesome. And thank you, Sean. So we have 2 more questions left here, and then we'll wrap up with closing remarks. So this question, the person actually divided it up for both of you after listening to kind of your past. So we'll start with Sean. With all the experience you have had and connection with Shape America and the national level, what is one thing you have learned that you will bring to your presidency role?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. What is the one thing? And that's advocacy. Because again, going back to what we're talking about, and more importantly, it's the state of education. It's the state of our classrooms. Okay, we can talk about the educators, but what are our children going through? Why do we have to have programs like Health Moves Minds? You understand? Why do we need those things? It's because social emotional learning matters. And we need voices. Yes, part of rising up is that every educator becomes their own voice. But for those that aren't comfortable or don't feel they have that platform or not on that level yet, that's what I'm here for. That's why I host a podcast. That's why I'm willing to put my name out there, my voice out there, to advocate for something that I'm passionate about. And that's health and physical education. And if I can do it for our members, then that's what I'm going to do.
Awesome. Thank you. And Julie, your question is a little different here. After already serving as the MOAFERD president, what was one thing you learned and will bring into your presidency role?
Everyone has to work together for it all to, for whatever my vision is, everyone has to align, and we all have to work together for that to be able to be accomplished.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So we're going to our final question here from the audience, and then we'll ask for closing remarks. So we'll start with Julie here. This is a very interesting question. So if you need me to repeat it, let me know. Please share with us any plans you may have, an experience you may have had that focuses on leadership development and advocacy.
Well, the roles that I have had with MOSHAPE, the roles that I have had with Central District, all of those play a part within both of those associations. Advocacy is there. Every day that I walked in my classroom, I advocated for my health and physical education program. My kids knew that when November came, I would always tell them, okay, I'm going to my conference. They're like, oh, Miss Lukenhoff, what game are you going to bring? I hope you're going to bring something back, because they knew I would bring something back. But I advocated to my principals. I mean, my superintendent, the first day he came in, he was new to our district, and he came in while I was having volleyball practice, and I went over and introduced myself, and I said, hey, I just want you to know we need good quality health and PE. I'm involved with MOSHAPE, and I want you to come. I want you to be involved. And of course, he was able to come to the banquet. He and the superintendent and my principal were able to come to the banquet when I was recognized, and that next week they were amazed. They were like, oh my gosh, I never knew all of that. I said, well, yes. I said, that's why I work every day to advocate. So I think all of us advocate, and I think that both of those associations have helped me to be able to be a strong advocate for health and physical education.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean, how about you? Please share with us any plans you may have, an experience you may have that focuses on leadership development and advocacy.
Again, going back to, just kind of going back to my work in general with, with Shape America, and, as a COVID-19 project director, I was under the Advocacy, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion department, housed by Carly Wright of Shape America. Shout out to Carly if you're listening. But, taking those experiences, I mean, you have to go through the rounds to become a leader. Nobody just wakes up and says they're a leader. There's no book. There's plenty of books that tell you you're a leader, but it's not until you step into different spaces and try your hat in different things to truly understand your leadership and what that means. So to have that range of experience, especially at the Shape, the Shape America level, and to bring that back to MOSHAPE and really support everybody. Again, our future professionals, current professionals, retired professionals, and bringing them back in. Like Julie said, we need them too to be a part of this, because we have future professionals who need mentors and people that have done it before, and really giving everybody the opportunity to be a leader. You don't have to have a title. I don't have to be president-elect to be a leader. I can still just be Sean Neville's EDI chair and still be a leader, or I can just be Sean Neville's educator and still be a leader. But creating leaders from everybody through the advocacy lens, however you choose to advocate, whether it's in your classroom, we all advocate in our classroom, whether it's through the programmings and after school, whether you do it on social media or TikTok, if you're promoting your classroom or promoting great content, there's many ways to do advocates and to advocate and create these leaders. So to continue to do that and expand on that.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. So we are now at the end of our town hall here. I'm going to give you both an opportunity for some closing remarks. So Sean, we're going to popcorn right back to you. Sean, any closing remarks for our audience?
To our members, the time to rise up is now, okay? You have been through a lot. All right, Julie and I both said it, and you all feel it, and I feel it too. I'm a parent of kids that are in the school building. I still have a lot of educator friends that I talk to, many of you. Your time is to rise up now. We've been through the worst of it. All right, we got through the hardest time of our life. And it was during that time I became the leader that I am now, and I'll only continue to grow. I'll continue to grow because of you all. But in this spot, as your president, I want us all to rise up. So the time is now. I am here to be available for you, to listen to you, to be that voice for you, to be your support, to be your mentor, to be that virtual shoulder you cry on if I'm not there in person with you. But I am here for you to become better. And I'm here for MOSHAPE to continue to see this organization grow and to continue to see this organization be fiscally responsible, financially wealthy, and just wealth of knowledge, wealth of content, wealth of everything we do. Because again, MOSHAPE, the Missouri Society of Health and Physical Educators, we are the best state affiliate organization in the nation. We are the best, and we will continue to be the best.
Thank you so much, Sean. And Julie, any closing remarks from you?
I just want to thank MOSHAPE and its members for my opportunity to run for president-elect. If you haven't registered to go to the convention, there's still time. Talk to your principal tomorrow morning, get your paperwork in. Anna has a great convention. You are not going to be disappointed, okay? And then I also want to make sure that you get involved. All of our members need to be involved. There are so many opportunities for you. There is a little niche somewhere for you to find your way to be involved with MOSHAPE, and that's what I want you to do. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sean and Julie, for joining us all tonight. Thank you to everybody that tuned in. Voting for president-elect begins October 30th, Sunday at noon, and it will close during Anna's convention on November 12th. That's a Saturday at noon. You will receive an email soon about how the voting process occurs. And please do not forget, just like Julie said, register and join us at the lake for the Sharing Our Story 2022 convention, November 10th through 13th. That's 25 days away. I thank you both so much for joining us, and have a wonderful night.